We are officially on the Ozark Trail out here. This is the just past Taum Sauk mountain. So we took the Sauk Falls Trail to get to this point. There's the water flowing from the waterfalls, and this has calmed down quite a bit. And so Sauk Falls Trail is no punk. It is full of rocks and climbing and ups and downs. But so far this section has been fairly straight dirt. So it has been rainy, so I did get my shoe all muddy. And but there's a lot of good flow here. So there have been quite a few people. It's a nice, day. It's probably going to be like something close to 60. It's a Saturday, so there were lots of people in the parking lot, and then lots of people at the falls. There was a group of young guys camping as well. And so, but that being said, I don't anticipate seeing very many people moving forward. We are approximately 4 3/4 miles in. It's kicking my butt. The smooth dirt trails are long gone. Now we have our glade top. Rocky, hilly. That's all we've got. I saw a lot of people actually. There were at least 2 groups of like Boy Scouts or youth groups, and then there was those like college guys. But that was the first maybe 3.5 miles. After that, and there were some other groups at the Sauk Falls Trail. But after that, on the Ozark Trail itself, after 3.5 miles, I haven't seen anybody. But what I think I'm gonna do is, I had planned to camp in, like, on Proffit Mountain in Nixon Backcountry, but after seeing this, I'm like highly skeptical I'm gonna find somewhere to pitch my tent. But coming up here in a short ways, maybe a mile, maybe less than that, there's like an established campsite. At least that's what it says on all trails. So I'll probably drop the bulk of my pack there and grab just like my small day pack, the brain, and load, grab water and all the essentials. Hike the rest of the way, whatever it is, like 2 miles or something from that campsite to Proffit Mountain or Nixon Backcountry. Take a picture and then hike back, and that way I'll have an established campground. I won't have to lug this giant pack all the way there and back. And 3, I'll be this much closer for tomorrow, for when I head home. So the trail's kicking my butt, but that's what it's supposed to do when you're out of shape. Listen. Listen! I can't tell if you can hear the water, but that's the other benefit of staying. The wind's blowing. That's the other benefit of staying at the campgrounds, is they're near the stream, and so everybody likes camping near water, so you can cook or do whatever you gotta do. Here, oh look. You got a little babbling brook. Here there are, pretty strict rules as far as like you're not supposed to camp too close to the water, or too close to the trail, or on the glades themselves, or anything like that. So But I assume it's fine to camp at the designated campsites. There be the water. Some of this is so rocky, it's like you just have to find the markers. So there's one there, and there's one over there, and just kind of walk to each point. I also can't speak directly to where I'm at, but I'm confident I've left Sauk Mountain State Park, and I'm in the like Kitcherside conservation area, and so not that that makes a ton of difference. It's, you know, there's no sign or anything like that. It's just kind of a interesting geographical thing. So there's another waypoint. There's the creek down there. All right, stream is right down there. Here's the campsite. Perfect. Let us set up a tent. Ice cold water. Gotta have a filter. We did it. We're officially in the Nixon Backcountry. Boy, howdy though. That was rough. I did, strangely enough, see two more sets of people. They were all coming back this way, so I don't know. They were all wearing backpacking equipment, so I don't know if they started at Johnson Shut-ins, which is further down. If you hike through, you'll get to Johnson Shut-ins. It probably would have been shorter to go from Johnson Shut-ins here, because this, I think, was something like 7.5 miles, whereas going that way was probably closer to 6, so just marginally shorter, but still. I'm in my socks and my shoes. It's super wet, but I had to cross a creek where some kids were playing, and most of the water crossings I've been able to just, like, you know, jump from rock to rock, but in that one I had to just blaze through it, so my feet got all wet. That's been miserable as well. Hopefully they'll dry out. I can't tell if this foot needs a blister pad or not, because my feet were wet. My phone battery is at like 36%, so I'm gonna plug in my phone charger. But the good news is, it is all, I don't want to say downhill from here, but we've reached the halfway point, so it's all, you know, back towards home from this point forward. I keep forgetting to take video of these landscapes. You can imagine if this was the spring or the summer or fall. Beautiful. There's the Taum Mountain Reservoir. Beautiful Missouri. Made it back to camp. Barely. I'm dying. Anyways, having some beef jerky. Tomorrow might have some scrambled eggs. We'll see. We'll see what's up. I've been I left my little bag of electrolytes, so I grabbed some of those and I hit those real quick. Ooh, coffee for in the morning, instant coffee and some Propel. So getting refueled, and then I'm gonna rest, and then tomorrow 5.5 miles out, uphill both ways. rough. It's about 7 in the morning. I am packed up. I got up about 6. That's where I was camping. And then just decided I'm going to hike out of here. I'm not going to spend too much time cooking or anything like that. It was not cold at all last night. Really, well, maybe my sleeping bag works really well. I left it unzipped pretty much all night, and I didn't get chilly to speak of. So I'm waiting for the sun to come up a little bit more, but it looks like it's going to be a really cloudy day. So I'm going to mix in some electrolytes and then probably hit it. There's a bit of evergreen part of the trail. Listen to the wind blow. It was blowing pretty good yesterday, last night. Here the trail's not, terribly rocky. And there's little parts of it that are like this. But then it picks up nice and rocky again. And then, yeah. So we get to enjoy this smoothish patch. The trail's pretty clearly defined as well, so there's not a ton of markers. There's a blaze on that tree, and there's one way down there. It turns out they're converting these, or maybe at least a couple of them, into metal. That one's plastic. See, it's falling apart. But there are some metal ones that should hold up for a really long time. Here. That's going to be there forever, basically. Here we are. This smooth ground. You gotta love it, because it's going to turn rocky again pretty soon. The creek crossing coming up, and there was a campground there. That's where I got my feet all wet. I had to cross through the stream. So, look at this guy. This is not the creek crossing I was talking about, but it does look like a chance to get wet. This is the little stream crossing I was telling you about. So the trail, the official trail, runs up through there, but there's rocks there, so somebody's campground. We're on our way. We have a fairly smooth area. We're coming up on the Devil's Toll Gate. I don't know why it's called the Devil's Toll Gate, but essentially it looks like a giant rock that split and then formed a little walkway between the two pieces. So I've got a book on Missouri geological wonders and names and such. I'll look into that and see if I can't figure out that name. That's the Devil's Toll Gate, which means we're about a mile from Sauk Falls, the point, the junction. Yeah, here it is. I've been showing a lot of the smooth ground, but this is what most of the trail is actually looking like. Pretty rocky. It's been rainy, so this is wet, but lots and lots of rocks. Whew. We're making progress. Just up that way should be Sauk Falls, isn't too far. And then back that way there was a campsite and Devil's Toll Gate. And so this is nice and flat for the most part right here. I'll let this group of fellows go by first. One of them's got a little doggy. Climbing up. Alright, let's see if we can film some of this without dropping my camera. Can you say film things anymore? There's no actual film. We're going to make a motion picture. Anyways, there's the falls. Go all the way up there. And then all the way up there. I forget the, the details about the falls. I want to say it's the 5th largest waterfall in Missouri. Or by largest, I forget if it's like the tallest, but it's not, you can see how it's like staggered, so it's not a continuous fall. So, I don't know. I know there's always weird technicalities as far as that goes. And then there's a largest fall. Oh, I'm gonna lean. Largest as far as like width goes, because that's not terribly wide. But I don't know. What I know is I gotta get up there. You can still barely see the boys. What have I got myself into? That's where we need to be. Man, we've come a long way. But the boys are stopped up there. I let them go first thinking I'm old, out of shape, lugging this pack. I thought they were gonna just fly up it and be no big deal. But it turns out they struggled just as much as me. The wind's really picked up. I don't know if it's because I was down in a valley, but it's windy. going up. There's the boys. Oh, nice little stairs. Quite a hike. There's more falls way up here. This is the long side, the south side. You can see it's blazed in red. So that means we're close. I think it's 1.4 miles, but judging by this, I don't think it's going to be any easier. Nope, no easier. It's rough. Less than half a mile. Alright. We've made it back to pavement. Or concrete. The tallest point in Missouri is right over here. This is 150 feet out of my way. I've already seen this before, but I guess it'll be good to document it for you guys. It's right by that rock. Yeah. I remember seeing this, thinking this is the highest point in Missouri, but then there's a rock right by it. So, there it is. There's the rock. Highest point in Missouri. Graffiti on the chair, of course. Made it back to the Jeep. I survived. It's 10:37, so pretty decent time. I'm gonna make it home by tonight, but I'm kind of starving. I had some beef jerky, but I need some food. The most important part of the weekend, making sure that Kiki gets all the loving that she missed while I was gone. She gonna eat my fingers? No, don't eat me. No. Kiki-roni.